The world is still healing from Monday's school shooting at the Covenant School, a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. The shooting left 3 students and 3 staff members dead. It seems like the country is becoming desensitized to mass shootings as of late, and it makes us wonder if there's anything we can do to prevent them. In the past, comedians like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle have tackled mass shootings in their stand-up acts, with Chappelle famously saying, "If someone comes to your school and wants to shoot it up, you're probably gonna get shot. I'm just being real." Today we have our comedy hype analysts Danielle Miller, Capone, and Pierre call into the show to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
Of the school. This was released just moments ago by the Metro Nashville Police Department. The shooter, who the police identified as Audrey E. Hale, saying that the individual identifies as transgender, entered the building by firing through a side door, armed with 2 assault-style weapons and a handgun. That's according to John Drake. He's the Nashville Police Department chief there.
You know, it's never good to have these conversations on the show. Just in the U.S. alone, there have been 129 mass shootings. And mass shootings is classified as 3 or more killings in one sitting. So, you know, absolutely ridiculous. But Pierre, let me come to you first. What's your reaction after now seeing the surveillance footage, but also just the overall situation?
In the U.S., normal, redundant. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is, they pull the race cars, another white person acting foolish, It's just constantly over and over and over. And very sad, especially when it comes to children. Anybody, but especially little kids, they have no fight in whatever your problem is. They have nothing to do with your problem. Children, they've done nothing to it. So again, sad. That's it.
Yeah, no, Capone, let me bring you in. Same thing. What's your reaction now that we've seen the surveillance, but then also to the overall situation?
Very sad. Anytime anything got to do with children, and it just seems like they're becoming more of a sacrifice to these adult battles that we're going through in life every day, whether it's, war, whether it's gender, whatever it is. It seems like the kids are being brought into it and they have nothing to do with it. And it's sad. It's a very sad situation.
Now, Danielle, I want to come to you and get your perspective because I know you're out in the Bahamas. As I mentioned, 129 mass shootings in the U.S. this year already. So I'm very interested to get your take, but then also, what is it like out there in the Bahamas? Is it different than what we're experiencing in the U.S.?
Yeah, we don't have mass shootings as frequently. I think the last mass shooting that we had was maybe like 2 years ago, a year ago, and that was 6 persons that were recently released from prison. And then before that, I think the other one was 10 years ago when somebody randomly opened fire on a park. So we don't experience these things. And I will say this, and I'm seeing on Twitter, and people are calling for reform of the gun law. I remember when Barack Obama, after that shooting took place in the school, he was crying out for the same thing. We don't have access to guns here easily. Guns are not sold here. It's illegal to have a firearm here. You can have a shotgun, but that's for hunting purposes only. And yes, even though criminals still get their hands on the guns, we don't sell guns here. It's illegal to have a handgun. So I think that's definitely like one of the things the U.S. needs to look into. And I agree with those person's sentiments. Like, look at the gun laws that you guys have. It's not gonna cease and desist the violence, but it is gonna minimize it and save a lot of lives.
Absolutely. And as you know, a lot of people right now, that's what's on the forefront of these conversations is, what is the solution? How can we prevent that? Even here in Georgia, lawmakers just passed an active shooter training bill earlier this month that will require every public school to do a yearly drill. Now, in this video that we saw for a little over 2 minutes, the shooter was able to go around. And while she didn't run into anybody, we did eventually, unfortunately, have to see a tragedy happen. Someone who spoke on this, as we all know famously, is Dave Chappelle in a bit where he talks about, if someone comes into your school, a drill just isn't going to cut it. A drill isn't going to save the kids. But I want to take a look and come back and get you all's reaction to it.
They have drills that they make kids do where they practice what to do if somebody comes to shoot up their school. I'd never heard that before. I was like, what the f***? Then I had to tell my sons the truth. I didn't want to tell them this shit. Son, listen to me. F that drill. Somebody comes to your school and wants to shoot it up, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You probably gonna get shot, nigga. I'm just being real. Just stay low and run in a zigzag pattern and don't try to save anybody, son. Do you understand me? Why would you have kids rehearse for some shit they have no control over? All you're doing is training these kids to worry. And while you're in there training them during these drills, well, aren't you training the shooter too? This nigga's in here listening and learning like the other kids. Sit in the back. Where are we supposed to meet?
Now, Pierre, I'll come to you first for your reaction. Ironically enough, in this situation, the shooter was a former student of the school, but I'd love to get your thoughts. What's your reaction after now looking back on Dave's stand-up clip?
You know, Dave is who Dave is. He's impeccable. His timing is ridiculous. You know, it was funny. You know, on a heavy topic, but you know, I'm not against anti-drills. You know, let's be real. You know, I don't want these kids just running and screaming down the hallway. You know, and getting plucked off left and right. You're gonna do the best you can. I mean, you know, all we can do is the best we can. If they kill some of them, they're gonna kill some of them. If we're gonna save some, we're gonna save some. At the end of the day, we're trying to save more than that, you know, more than dies. But I don't have a problem with you know, learning drills and so forth like that. You know, I mean, I did drills for fire drills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Luckily, none of the schools I was in that, you know, that happened to. But one thing that I like that what Danielle said, you know, they don't have any guns over there. Well, America's, you know, it was won on guns. You know, the Indians didn't have guns. We, you know, the big people came over, we had guns, and whoever has the biggest defense budget and the biggest army or whatever you call it, is going to rule the world. Is going to run the world. If we gave up all our guns, you think Russia and China will give up their guns too? And can you imagine if we didn't have any more guns? I'm just telling you what it is. So if we all collectively as a world stop having guns, sure, cool. But if America starts saying we ain't gonna have no guns, we ain't have no guns, okay. When they come in, when the other people come into the country to do what they do, to take over, because you know, might, you know, who has guns has the most might. We'll see what happens. And we're running and we got slingshots and shit trying to stop, you know, AK-47. So I just think it, I don't know, the gun laws, you know, that's a hard fight. They're here now, you know, just like black folks. We ain't going back to Africa. We ain't going back. Them guns ain't going back, okay?
Right, and I want to, and we're gonna get into some solutions as well, because you know, especially with these topics, I love to end with a solution. But Capone, let me come to you after seeing the clip. You know, reflecting back on Dave Chappelle, what's your reaction to it?
It was funny. He said something that I didn't think about myself before, which was genius to me. You trying to give these drills and all that, and the shooters are in the classrooms with the kids. Like, you giving all this information, but you're not realizing who just might be the shooter. And it was funny, but it was just like, wow, you don't think about stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, any way you look at it, for kids to get into this situation just to go to try to get an education is ridiculous.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. Danielle, same question for you. After reflecting back on a stand-up clip that was from 2019 to now, what's your reaction to it?
First, let me just say, yeah, law enforcement has guns here. As a regular civilian, you're not allowed to go and purchase a gun. We don't have gun stores here. We don't even have shooting ranges here. So if you were to let off that, let's say if you're permitted to have a shotgun for hunting, if you are to fire a gun, we have shot squatters. They're going to hate you, and the police is going to react, because guns is just not something that is sold here. That's really as in the United States, and only law enforcement can have them. I think Dave Chappelle's clip it was a funny truth. And I can agree with him on two things. I agree with Pia. I think the drills are necessary. But then again, I think in the moment when something like that is going on, you get frantic, especially as a child. There's a commercial, I can't remember. It was a back to school commercial that struck fear in me. And that was how kids prepare for school. And they had, you know, getting the backpacks ready, but then the backpacks had to be bulletproof. And then they showed the little girl in the bathroom stall, like hiding from an active shooter. And that got to me, because this is the reality that is facing America when it comes to schools. I didn't have to go through that in school. We did fire drills. What is a gun drill? What is an active shooter drill? We did fire drills. And again, like he said, you can't stop an active shooter unless you shoot them down yourself when they come into a school to do what they have to do. We see that in the video. It's the video is still getting to me. How she shot through the door and how she literally opened every door to look for these people. So Chappelle's clip was a sad comedic truth. And I don't know. I just feel for you guys. I honestly do. I feel for you guys. It's scary being a parent.
Yeah. No, and Danielle, I'm going to start with you because I know you mentioned some solutions earlier, but I really want to just, hone in on it and be very specific to it. What do you think some solutions are? Because so far we've seen on the table over a course of time, teachers carrying, kids doing school drills. We've heard gun laws. What do you think is the solution so that we can see less of these happening? I know we can't prevent everything, but just seeing less of these happening.
I just want to first say this because I know somebody in the comments is going to have something to say about, having a foreigner talk about our solutions. The thing is, as a community, we all feel it. Even though I'm in the Bahamas, we're watching this, we're feeling it. These are innocent people that are being killed. I think some of the solutions, like I said, is for state officials to look at the gun laws and to reform them. I think another solution would be, like Pierre said, the guns are already there. That's how the states was won. If we are not going to change the gun laws, then I do think that teachers should be trained in the classrooms. I'm sorry to say it like that, but I think teachers should be trained in the classrooms to have guns, to know how to shoot those guns, to know how to protect these kids. And I also think that I think it was taken off the table for a mental health, for you to go through a mental health evaluation before you purchase a gun. I think that needs to be put back on the table. Evaluate people before they can purchase these guns, especially high rifle weapons. So those are just some of my initial thoughts when I think about some of the solutions that can be presented.
Pierre, let me come to you. Same thing. What do you think is a solution for these situations so that we can see less of this happening?
Strap up the teachers. Strap the teachers up. Bop, bop, bop. Yeah, let's get them strapped up. But like she said, mental health is one of the major things. We need to put a lot more emphasis on mental health throughout schooling, grown folks, even, workplaces and so forth. That, you need to feel comfortable to go somewhere to discuss something. Or a supervisor should be able to see, that you're going through somebody. By what you talk, a lot of this stuff is not really always happening from people who are just so quiet and nice and smiling every day. If you pick up some stuff, you can see, if you're around somebody enough, you can see they're cracking some of the words they're talking about, some of the situations. I think we need to have some people step in for mental health, first of all. Your mind got to be correct or worked on first. The next thing is, I truly do believe that teachers should be strapped, because we're not going to, if we don't do the mental health thing, we're not going to stop people from coming in mass places and shooting. This is not going to happen. This is, this ain't the first one, the last one. It's going to keep on going. But how do we minimize and save as many lives as possible? And one way is to strap up. Teachers who want to be strapped, don't force the teachers to be, but teachers say, I want to learn how to use a handgun. Because what's not going to happen is you ain't going to run into my classroom and we're hovered in a corner somewhere, frightening shit. You machine gun all the kids at one time. Let the teachers who feel like they want to put that piece out fight back.
Capone, same question for you. What are your thoughts? What are some solutions here?
I really don't know what a solution is. I don't agree about strapping teachers up, because you got to realize when we talk about mental health, there's students with mental health as well. And if a teacher has a gun on them, and we've been seeing this a lot also, where students are fighting teachers. And to think of a teacher protecting herself with a gun and shooting a student is just as bad as a mass shooter coming into the school. Mm-hmm. So I just can't phantom guns in school in the same sentence. It's unfortunate that we're going through this right now, but even a mass shooter who can't get into school, they can shoot through windows. And the solution, the laws that are made have been against everything civil since they made gun laws. So it is what it is.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question real quick. Capone, do you think it'd be cool if they had security guards with guns in the school? Like security with somebody in school?
Some schools do have that.
Okay. So remember, the students can take them guns too. So right. If a teacher has a gun,
that's what I just said. I don't believe in school and guns. That's not in the same.
Right. So I'm saying security. Right. So
I don't agree with security having them there, because we've seen them flip over too.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it is a touchy feeling when you think of the two because unfortunately, it's something that we're seeing more and more. Pierre, I want to come to you and ask you, and it's chilling to watch her shoot through the front door, be in there for over 2 minutes, and like walking, and like Danielle said, walking and lurking. What do you think could have been done and should have been done from that first moment when we saw, I'm pretty sure, obviously they saw her or heard her shoot through the door. What do you think should have been done in that moment?
Well, at that moment, you don't see anybody there, so I don't know if they heard it and ran. Or I don't know if they started doing the drill. But trust me, I would have liked to have somebody else in that school with some pistols too, and fire down on her behind. When she opened the door, she getting shot up. As opposed to just sitting there being a victim with them kids, and just hoping that you pray it away. No, get somebody. Since we're seeing so much of it, find a principal. Whoever wants to carry a gun in a school, go through a course. And as teachers, principals, janitor, I don't give a damn. Pop it off. And then you know what? If we see a lot of kids getting killed from those guns in there, then we may change that rule then. But right now, being a victim, because it's easier talking because it's not your child. But if my child was in that school and they were shooting and my child was doing nothing but hovering, I would have wished someone had a gun to save my child's life.
Now, Capone, I want to pose the same question to you because I know guns in schools are kind of, a iffy topic for you, rightfully so, and I completely understand. But what do you think could have been the solution when we saw her first come, shoot through the front doors?
The first thing is if there was an alarm. I don't know if there was an alarm or not. I know I saw flashing lights flashing on the wall, but a certain alarm should be set for like a fire drill, or a shooting should have a special alarm to alert the children of what is happening, and whatever precautions that they're going to take from there, they will have more knowledge of what it is that they need to do. When she shot through the first window, I take it that the doors were closed or locked. Mm-hmm. And for her to climb through the window of the glass when she could have just stuck her hand in there and opened the door, really, there was some real mental issues there, and very, very deep anger issues. And so, sometimes, and I think it was on, I'm not sure what it was on, but she spoke upon it being that this would be the day she died. So all of the premeditation that she put into it, it was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, and definitely an unfortunate situation. Danielle, I want to go ahead and close out, but I'm going to come to you with the same question. We watched that chilling footage for over 2 minutes where she's looking and lurking for these people. From the moment that we saw her shoot through the door, what do you think could have been some preventative measures that could have taken place?
I'm gonna put this in retrospective first. And that is, picture you being the parent of a child in that school and you watching that video. And this is your child who you drop off to what is supposed to be a safe place. It's a Christian school, first of all. And second of all, it's a school. This is the place where you don't expect to hear these type of calls coming through to your phone. So if I was a parent and I watched that video of her coming through, or even the wife or husband or family member of any of the victims that were killed, what I would like to see was for her to be taken down from she shot through the glass. Because it wasn't like she opened that door and she came through, and that's a big gun. Even if you walk through the door with that big gun and I see you, I would have wished she would have been taken down from Jump Street, from she walked through that door. Hence why I said, can we equip the teachers or a security guard? I don't even want to say put a police officer in the school because I know sometimes resources can be stretched. But the solution for me right now, and I hope I don't sound very violent with this, was if the intent was for her to come in there and do some damage. So from she shot through that door, from she even came out her car with the rifle, that she would have been taken down immediately. And that's just honestly my initial reaction right there.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, go ahead, Pierre.
Real quick, I think this would be a good, start of a solution. Make all doors metal and bulletproof around the schools, so you can't get into those schools like that. I mean, that could be a start of it, because that was a glass door she shot through. Hell, it's hard enough to get in some concert, venues with all the metal doors you got to go through to get into some concert doors. So why don't they put the schools more metal doors with just a little bit of, glass up top, whatever, so you can't reach in and do the damn thing. But have those kind of doors opposed to glass doors. Just put the budget, find the budget for that. For those who don't want shooters in the school or people be armed with guns, make it more like a fortress with the doors.
Yeah, I would, and just to add a little piece, yeah, definitely. I think every entrance and exit at a school needs some type of armed official, because we've seen, not all the time do they come through the front door. We've seen shootings where, they slip through a gym door and different things. So I think any entrance into the school needs an armed official or someone walking around. And then also, yeah, Pierre, I agree. I think there needs to be, when the alarm sound, there needs to be a bulletproof door that drops in front of every classroom. I know that's going to be more budget, more money being put into these schools, but I don't want these kids having, this bulletproof door all the time where you feel like, you're stuck in a classroom, you can't really see anything. But I do think, once an alarm, like an active shooting happens, there needs to be some type of bulletproof door where you can't get in, because as mentioned, if you have a gun, especially if it's powerful, and you have a glass door, a regular door, they're going to come and do what they came to do.
Right, but they're metal doors that you don't need to have nothing dropping. There's doors you don't have them long bars. You push them bars, open the door. Those can be made out of bulletproof material. They're metal right now, but whatever. That's easier than glass. But I don't necessarily drop it and stuff like that. That's way. But the doors are closed. The long bars you got to push open. Let those be bulletproof, or at least make them metal enough so they ain't glass doors. You can't shoot through them things that easily.
Yeah.
It's metal.
Yeah,
Much easier with glass.
Yeah, honestly, as long as we protect these kids, as Danielle mentioned, no one, thinks they're going to drop their kid off at school to learn and then get that call. So whatever it takes, I do think solutions need to be put forward. But I appreciate all three of you for chiming in on this and giving solutions to the topic. Now, to end on a lighter note, of course, I'd like to know what you have going on. Danielle, you at least, you gave us a beautiful background, beautiful pink. So I got to start with you. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
What I have coming up is still on it, still getting together new episodes of Sis that are coming this summer. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch past episodes. We were 3 seasons deep. So watch past episodes of Sis on my YouTube channel. It's Danielle, DENIELLE. And then also you can follow me on Instagram at DEEA Miller. You can follow me on Facebook at Danielle, and you can follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet much, but still follow me there. And Comedy Hype every Tuesday. I am here. Make sure to subscribe.
Absolutely. Capone, I'm coming over to you. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
First, let me say, Danielle, you have a very spiritual vibe watching over you. Every time that you came on camera, there was a face in the cloud looking down. I pay attention to that a lot. I just wanted to say that. I know it might seem a little corny, but I'm a very spiritual person. The background of those clouds were a couple of faces developed while you were speaking. Oh, now on another note, I actually will be in, it's a lot. I will be in Atlantic City this weekend with some heavy hitters doing the April Fool's show. And the next day, Saturday, I will be in Brooklyn doing 2 shows at Laughaholics Comedy Club, owned by Ray Dijon. Ray Dijon is leaving his comedy club to go do a big show with some heavy hitters. So I said, you know what? The club is empty. Let me pack it up with just enough people, have an intimate show, 2 shows already almost sold out, and do it that way. I'm tired of the big arenas right now. Sometimes you just want to work that nice crowd. So that's where I'm at with it.
Absolutely. Of course, how can people follow you?
Follow me on Instagram, Comedian Capone. If you cannot spell comedian, please do not follow me. And you can see me here on Comedy Hype, where the show is really getting to be something.
Absolutely. And last and certainly not least, Mr. Pierre, what do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Well, first of all, how you can follow me is by making the name on the bottom of this right here, our Instagram, our handles and stuff. So we have to say it every week and stuff. So you can spell it, all that. Just look right underneath there where it says our name.
Some people listen and they don't watch, Pierre.
Oh, we got mutes. Okay. We got blind people. All right. Okay. All right. We hitting everybody. Okay. So yes, those people, for those people, you can follow me at Comic Pierre, Pierre. I'll be at for the DMV. My folks in the DMV. I'll be at a place called Party HQ. April 21st. Me and a guy named Mike Brooks, very funny comedian, very funny. He's gonna be at 2 shows. So come out there. You know where it's at, y'all. And this week I got the very funny comedian named Darren Fleet. Very funny internet sensation on my podcast. Very funny guy. Very interesting guy too. So I think you guys will definitely like it, man. Maybe we can have him on Comedy Hype sometime, man. You know, maybe we'll have him tomorrow. Never know. Oh, and you can catch me here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Okay.
Everybody that listens while you drive, ignore Pierre. We appreciate you for chiming in. And tomorrow on the show, we're actually going to have Darren Fleet as a guest. So I'm super excited about tomorrow.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Great. Funny cat. Very funny.
And I'm definitely looking forward to, Wednesdays are crazy. So I know it's going to be a great time. As always, I appreciate you all for chiming in on this topic. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts of Dave Chappelle's take on school shootings? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in those comments.
Protect these kids, too.
I know that's right.